Metroid is limited by its own confused identity.
If it's not fun, why bother?
Reggie said it first, but one look at the atmosphere of a Metroid and the first thing that comes to mind isn't fun. For me, moments of actual fun and exploration come when you ask a game if something is possible. Can I get up this cliff? What happens if I get this item early? How the game responds establishes the groundwork for the dance between creator and player. If I were to go the rest of this video without saying "the," it would seem like an arbitrary and ridiculous thing to do. What fun is there in watching someone work around an extremely common word? But when I sprinkle in mistakes, they're like Easter eggs for extra perceptive viewers. When I slip up, the audience gets to slap me on the wrist and we all have a bit of good fun. Scripts are different from video games though. Your mistakes and oversights as a programmer will inevitably show up whether you want them to or not, because there are millions of people touching your game world all wanting to express themselves. Breath of Wild handles the cliff question from earlier in a masterful way. Most games have a stamina meter because they want you to feel bad for going too fast, I guess. Though, as numerous and more skilled video creators have said, Breath of the Wild's stamina meter is great because it lets you climb everywhere, and always prods your imagination for ways to climb things that are too tall. It's only fun because of that limitation though. If you could climb everything, there's no game to it, you're just waiting to get up. What I've been alluding to this whole time is how limitations can be used to give players more freedom. So, when we take this concept and apply it back to Metroid, a pattern emerges. I'm going to be rude and divide the series into two categories, and that's fun and not fun. These games let you dance and these games do not, and there's one simple tell: wall jumps. This wall jump is featured in Super Metroid and Zero Mission. It's hard to use, but when mastered, it lets you climb up one wall.
It lets a good player be good.
It's never necessary to learn in order to beat these games, but it's a response players can use in dialogue. Zero Mission says, "big wall," and you get to say wall jump, bomb jump, or bye. If you overcome that obstacle, it feels like you're exploring and peeking somewhere you shouldn't be right now, even though I'm positive these mechanics were left in completely intentionally. People speedrun Super Metroid backwards and forwards, and I mean that literally. You can beat Metroid first. People speedrun Super Metroid backwards and forwards, and I mean that literally. You can beat Ridley first if you're really good. That's exploration. That's an argument coming from the player. I want to take this game's hardest challenge on first, and Super Metroid responding, well, how do you plan on getting past my lava walls? So that's why when I boot up Samus Returns and try a wall jump, oh, it's one of those. I'm not saying there aren't reasons to love these games, but a big flaw they all share is confused linearity. If they tout themselves as exploration games, then why is there usually only one solution to their problems? I think Fusion is a great game because it fully commits to this linearity. It has story beats that an exploration game couldn't. There's nothing terrifying about these SAX scenes if you're allowed to get items that beat it. Basically, I wanted to make this video because I wanted to share what I think is valuable about Super Metroid and Zero Mission, but it's actually right here midway through editing where I realized that what I'd written for this video's ending was just more fluffy gushing, and it sucked. So I cut all that because I think I realized something. Everyone likes Metroid Prime and I don't. I'm actually jealous of people who enjoy that game because they seem to really enjoy it, but what made it all click was watching Donkey fail at Super Metroid. He had a bad enough experience trying to follow the usual path through each zone.
Are you fucking kidding me? This is the stupidest fucking secrets ever in a video game.
And on top of that, when he actually did explore off rails, he ended up getting stuck in Meridia's sand pits, and so he quit. People play games for different reasons, and that sounds obvious, but making this video has taught me that I value player expression through movement. Celeste, Super Metroid, Smash Bros. Melee, all these games give you so many options that how you decide to handle a problem might actually be completely outside of what their developers intended. So when I come back to Metroid Prime, I think I understand. If you value expression a little less and immersion a little more, there's so much to this world. Moving parts, small details, lore that pretty heavily outweighs any other game experience. It makes Zero Mission look childish in comparison. I still enjoyed listening to Prime's great music and reading its passages, but at its core, Metroid Prime's gameplay got stale for me. I had no ability to ask questions or break limits. I'm not advocating for a wall jump in Prime 4, that would look pretty dumb actually, but I do believe that fun movement is not at odds with the Prime trilogy's themes. We've seen how great three-dimensional items can be with Mario Sunshine's Flood, Halo 5's Power Grip, Risk of Rain 2's Dash. Items like these would empower players and give them new ways to backtrack, and even fight enemies. That might interfere with how scans are paced, but I always thought that could use a little tweaking anyway. What if instead of each object being instantly scannable, you found tomes that explained large swaths of history and culture? And after, you might notice things you overlooked earlier in the overworld, and can use your new knowledge to solve puzzles that reward you with whatever Retro Studios wants, really. It'd be nice to be shown cool landmarks, only to later realize there's more to them than meets the eye. I want Metroid Prime 4 to do well. I don't really know why. I think it's because I'm already invested in Metroid's universe and see how much potential it has. But I see a divide between 2D Metroid and 3D Metroid. Much like Smash, older titles leave room for player experimentation, and some people are willing to stay behind for that, while newer titles abandon advanced techniques and cater to people who value pretty much anything else. It would be a shame if Metroid moved on without what I feel like is an important part of its identity. Super Metroid helped shape speedrunning with its in-game timer and great replayability. Zero Mission tapped into this, but simultaneously left subtle storytelling behind. In my opinion, we've yet to see a Metroid game recapture both aspects of its most iconic title because people get caught up in either environmental design or fun mechanics, despite these things not being mutually exclusive. Ultimately though, it's in Retro Studios' hands. And I'm no game designer, just a fan excited Metroid's getting any hype at all.